Hello everyone, welcome to day 25. This is kind of a 2-for-1 today. I am doing my Spiegel Mom Scraps episode along with this my last sketch from Sketches in Time. This is a really fun one. I love the way that it is. I don't follow it exactly. I take a little hint from it, but that's about it. So for Spiegel Mom Scraps this month, our theme was to be artsy fartsy. So to do things that, were just your take on different types of art. So I struggled with this theme immensely. But what I ended up doing for my first one is I did a cross stitch pattern, which is a heart one that you can see. I'll leave a link to that. And for this one, I thought I would just play with these clouds. These are felt clouds that you could get in the shop, but they have been discontinued. So unfortunately, you can't get them anymore, but they were beautiful and they were fun while they lasted. And they're just like other collections, right? Once they're gone, they're gone. You just enjoy them while you can. And so I wanted to spray some clouds, but it went way too dark. So I was like, ugh, this is horrible. So then I go ahead and grab some of my just plain white acrylic paint, and I'm going to water it down here. And it makes, in the end, I make this really cool kind of whitewashed look. And at first I'm only going to do it to the part that I messed up. At least I thought I messed up. And then I was like, as I was looking at it and working with it, I'm like, this is actually okay. Like, I don't mind this. This is pretty cool. And so I end up actually doing this really kind of nice whitewash across my entire piece of background paper. Now I'm using a summer collection, and it is from, I believe it's Echo Park, and it is titled, let me just see, I have it beside me here. It's a really beautiful, beautiful collection. Oh, sorry guys, I can't quite see it here. It's hiding on me. Here we go. It is from the Summer Dreams collection from Echo Park. And this is actually, I bought this piece of paper for the back of it because it has a bunch of strip cut aparts. But when I saw this kind of fun gradient, I was just like, nope, I'm going to play with this. And so I did, and it got used up, so that's all that matters. That's how I feel about it. So I'm going to place these clouds back down, and I'm going to spray them again. This time I'm only going to use my one shimmers, and this is my Osei. Can you see? It's my go-to shimmers mist. I love this one. But I'm only going to spray a couple sprays and do it once on each. So it's just this kind of subtle cloud appearance that you can see, which will help me then. I let it dry, everything dry. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I sprayed my clouds too because I thought maybe I could play with them. You'll see in the end what happens with that. But what I decide to do is then go ahead and stitch along the clouds with some white. So again, I was really, really stuck and I wasn't sure what to do. And I was messaging Daisy, who's a fellow sparkler on the design team with me. And she's like, it'd be really cool if you stitched around the clouds. And I'm like, yes, Daisy, that's perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I just poked my holes because I traced it, but I had a really hard time actually seeing it. So what I end up doing is just keeping the cloud there, holding my finger there, and then just poking around the cloud. You don't see that. I did that off camera. I did this really late at night last night. But there you see, it's all done. I stitched in white, and I really, really love that. And then I'm going to pick which sequence I want to use. I'm going to fill in the clouds with the sequence, and that's how I'm bringing this into the design team aspect, right? So I've used the shimmers, I've used the felt clouds, and now I'm using the sequence. And I end up using the Be True to You, and I also use, I'm almost out of them, but they are I think it's the Fairy Garden. They are my favorite. Oh my gosh, those are so pretty. And so I do two different types, so there's different shades. So you can see there, now that is all done. And now I get to do the rest of my layout, which is just the decorating part. So that was a long process, creating that background. And I tell you, that's as artsy as I get. But I like it, and I really love the final layout, so that's okay. Now you can kind of see that this layout isn't completely like the sketch, right? Because the sketch, if you can remember, and I'll show you at the end, I'll remind you what the sketch looks like at the end, but it's a middle centered layout with these 3 photos and then a bunch of fun layers. Well, I didn't have that, and my photos are larger than the photos in the sketch. So I'm going to take away a few layers, but still kind of keep the theme of the banner and the few different layer pieces that there are. And I think when you look at that compared to the end to end and you compare it with the sketch as well, you can still see where I got my connection from it, and it all works out. So I'm happy with it. And these photos. Oh, I love these photos so much. So these were taken one day when I took my son to the park this summer, and I had Nora with me, so I couldn't do a whole lot, but he wanted to climb this rock. So we have a bunch of different parks that I think I've mentioned this to you before. And there's one where there's this gigantic rock. And if you saw my last episode, the Little Explorer episode on my that I just did, I don't know, a couple videos ago, he's standing underneath the rock. So now he's on top of the rock. And he's always been really afraid to climb it by himself. He's always wanted some help. But on this day, he climbed it up, he climbed it down, he jumped, he was all over it. And so he basically conquered the rock. And I was so proud of him. And it was a really big step for him because he's always been a little intimidated by it. It is quite high. It would make me a little nervous. And there's different levels to it. So, you know, it's one of those things that's meant to be challenging. But he did it, and he was so proud of himself, and it was just, I got these photos, and it's a sequence of him standing up, and that last photo where you can see he's almost completely standing up, he's about to jump off the rock. So anyways, he conquered the rock. So that's what I'm titling this layout, is Today You Conquered. And then right underneath it, when I have a chance, I'm just going to write my journaling. And my final touches for this layout is going to be that little scalloped banner that I added, 2 of those clouds. So I had sprayed the back of those clouds, right? I didn't like the way they looked, but when I flipped them over, they were white with just little hints of the color, so I liked that. So I'm going to add 2 of those clouds back in. I tried to add some of the Cool Kid collection. I like the pop of black because when I use that word today from Simple Stories, that part of my title has black in it. There's not really black anywhere else, so I was trying to add it in, but that's not going to work. So my idea and how to add a little pop of black is I'm just going to use a tag sticker from the Little You collection from Chamel, and that's going to fit in there perfectly. And that does it. So again, a really simple layout. I am in the process of trying to make them, get the base of it down, get them all done so I'm done in time for this series to be finished. And like I said, I'll go back and probably do my journaling and any extra touches. And if that happens, like I said, somewhere down the line, mid-October or early November, I will share with you what the differences are so you can see all of that if that so happens. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you are in the market for sequins, go ahead and check out Spiegel Mom Scraps. You can use my code, it's Christy15, and it'll give you 15% off your purchase. And she's got some beautiful, beautiful mixes coming for October, you guys. You don't want to miss them. They are some of my favorite I've ever seen. They're so pretty. So make sure to check that out. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode and you're having a great Tuesday. And you know what? September's almost done. Can you believe that? We're in the last week. I only have 5 more videos to do. And coming up for the next 5 days are all of my random sketches. So this is going to be fun, and I hope you really enjoy the next 5 days because they're my favorite of this whole series. Bye, everyone.